Hey, everybody. You're about to hear a synopsis of the movie Par. Enjoy the movie. Ishan, an 8-year-old with a lot of imagination, is well known among his friends as a troublemaker. He is the worst student in his class and fails every subject. He is currently enrolled in the second year of the 3rd grade, and based on his report card, he will have to retake the grade. Johann, his older brother, is a model student in contrast to Ishan. He plays tennis outside of class and will be taking part in the forthcoming Interstate Tennis Championship. Ishan routinely gets into altercations with the bullies from the neighborhood. Ishan's mother one day complains to his father Nandakishore about the child's behavior. He must make an awkward apology to the child and his mother. Nandakishore loves his kids, but he treats Ishan too harshly despite it. Ishan's poor performance and inability to complete simple chores, in his opinion, are the result of his sloth. Ishan's English instructor invites him to read a passage from the book at class the next day. Despite his greatest efforts, he has trouble forming words. Although he has trouble grasping the alphabet, his teachers misunderstand this for being a brat. She keeps telling him to read, but he yells gibberish and is dismissed from the class. Ishan receiving punishment is nothing new. Because the teachers perceive him as a disruption to the other pupils, he actually spends the majority of his time outside rather than studying. Ishan hadn't finished his math assignment that day. He flees from school and spends the entire day wandering around the neighborhood in order to avoid the math teacher. He makes the most of the day by purchasing ice cream, relaxing by the shore, and observing onlookers. By the end of the day, nobody has noticed his absence as he makes his way back to his school bus. We witness him creating a stunning painting at home. Ishan enjoys painting, and his creative thinking contributes to the over-the-top creations he produces. Later, his mother Maya makes him do his schoolwork and attempts to tutor him. She observes that he has terrible handwriting, and he barely ever spells anything correctly. She chastises him like everyone else and equates his incapacity with sloth. Ishan's parents must submit an absence note to his teacher the next day. He asks his brother to write the note for him out of fear of getting into trouble. Johann writes the note after getting him to swear from skipping class ever again. The little student displays it to his teacher, who accepts it as genuine. In order to appear sick, he also plays the coughing game. The students take an exam by surprise from the math teacher that day. When Ishan receives the test, he notices that the letters appear to be dancing. He is asked to multiply 3 by 9 in the first question. The little boy visualizes a battle between the 9th planet Pluto and the 3rd planet Earth in his brain. He justifies the number 3 by imagining the Earth annihilating Pluto. He submits the test while leaving the other questions unanswered. He asserts with confidence that he fully enjoyed the test when questioned by his pals. Nandakishore returns from a business trip the following day. Ishan is ecstatic to see his father again and gives him a warm embrace. Nandakishore, however, discovers the false absence note from the previous day while eating breakfast. He learns after looking into Ishan's disappearance from school that he was exploring the streets by himself. The parents visit his instructors and principal the following day, who criticize his in-class behavior. Additionally, they learn about the outcomes of the most recent arithmetic exam. Ishan is thought to be a particular youngster who requires transportation to a school for kids with disabilities, according to the principal. Nandakishore finds the idea of his son having a disability abhorrent. Due to their concerns for their child's future, both parents decide to enroll him in a boarding school. Ishan is vehemently opposed to the notion. Although his parents do not want to be apart from him either, they act in his best interests despite his rebellion and pleads for them to keep him at home. Ishan wakes up screaming after having a dream about losing his mother in a throng. He vows to work more on his studies if they let him stay at home after she tries to calm him down. Maya is heartbroken, but Nandakishore is determined in his choice. Finally, the day arrives when Ishan is sent to the rural boarding school. He will only be permitted to see his family once a month and will be required to live in a dormitory with other kids. For the 8-year-old who has never left his home, it is a nightmare. He is welcomed by the hostel warden, who informs him that his previous behavior won't be accepted here. The family departs the school after taking a tour in sorrow. Ishan merely stands by and sobs as their car pulls away. Even after the car is no longer in view, he continues to stand in that position for a while. He enters the hostel while still sobbing when it begins to grow dark. He barely eats dinner and doesn't interact with anyone. He goes to the restroom at night when he can't sleep and sobs softly while mourning his mother. Maya arrives at her house in the meantime and looks through Ishan's possessions. She is shocked to discover a flipbook showing him being kidnapped from his family. She learns from the book how much the child dreads being separated from them, and it hurts her heart. Ishan struggles to perform everyday tasks in the hostel, such as fastening his tie and shoelaces. Mr. Tiwari, the Hindi instructor, forces him to sit on the first bench with Rajan, the class leader, on his first day. Ishan is not normal, as the teachers quickly realize. He doesn't pay much attention in class, and his art teacher physically corrects him for it. Nothing has changed from his past school behavior. He is consistently removed from the classroom as a punishment and barred from participating in any class activities. He eventually becomes so irate that he rips his books to pieces and discards them. He quits putting in effort to perform well in class and descends into a spiral of depression and self-hatred. After a month, when his parents finally meet him, he locks himself in a room and sobs for the first time since he last saw them. He runs outdoors and makes several laps around the basketball court when prodded to rebel. To give him a respite from his life at the hostel, the family checks him into a hotel for the night. Johann offers him a gift basket full of painting equipment, but little does he realize that Ishan has completely quit painting and has blocked out his artistic side. The family bids him goodbye and abandons him once more the following day. Ishan is at his lowest point ever later that day. He considers how it might feel to jump from that height as he stares down from the school's terrace. Rajan, his lone companion, interrupts him and informs him of the new painting instructor. Ishan doesn't give it much thought because he has never received assistance from a teacher. The kids are taken aback when the new teacher Ram shows up for class dressed as the Joker. In contrast to all other professors, he sings a song, plays the flute, makes them dance, and lets them enjoy the class. The depressed Ishan doesn't take part in any of it, but the old Ishan would have liked it. The kids' first assignment is to draw or paint anything they wish. Ram wants them to express their creative side so he can plan his next project. Ishan doesn't even touch the paper as the kids begin to draw many things that are all distinct from one another. Ram initially thinks the child is taking a moment to reflect, but Ishan's notepad is still blank when class is over. Ram inquires after him, concerned, but receives no response. Ishan refuses to speak when Maya calls him that evening. Instead, he simply holds the phone to his ears. He is told that because Johann has a tennis match, they would have to push back their next visit by a week. This simply serves to reinforce Ishan's belief that his family doesn't value him. He lets out a single tear and then turns to leave silently. Ram notices Ishan huddling outside the classroom the following day. He inquires about him to Rajan because of his curious demeanor. Ishan struggles to understand letters despite his best efforts, according to Rajan. Ram has a keen eye for youngsters who are different because he works in a school for disadvantaged kids. He searches through his past journals to learn more about Ishan and discovers a pattern of errors that are frequently made. He can't stop thinking about Ishan, not even while working with the unique kids. He can relate to the young person because he once faced a similar issue. A few weeks later, he realizes what Ishan's real issue is and goes to meet his parents in his hometown. They kindly accept him and permit him to view Ishan's bedroom. Ram is shocked to learn that Ishan once painted. That the youngster lost his brightness as a result of the pressure placed on him makes him even more unhappy. Nandakishore disparages his son, saying that he despises learning and is lazy. In retaliation, Ram demonstrates to them the pattern in Ishan's errors. He frequently inverts the letters, as if he has trouble telling them apart. Even so, the father still links it to sloth, but Ram asserts categorically that he is mistaken. He claims that Ishan suffers from a neurological disorder called dyslexia that makes it difficult for him to comprehend certain patterns, such as letters and words. He also struggles with coordination, which prevents him from tying his shoelace. The young child must have been in great pain because no one recognized his inability to read and concluded he was just being lethargic. Ram is retaliated against by Nandakishore, who believes Ram is calling his son a retard. Ram asks him to read the foreign characters written on a box so that he will comprehend. Nandakishore finally understands what his child may be going through when he gets reprimanded for not understanding the letters. He continues to deny that his kid can support himself with his one and only passion for painting. Ram is adamant about disapproving him. The following day, when he returns to the school, he instructs the students on all the notable historical personalities who weren't particularly brilliant students as youngsters. He uses actors, scientists, and philosophers as examples, which helps Ishan feel much better about himself. Ishan answers Thomas Edison when Ram asks who created the light bulb, speaking for the first time in weeks. Ram notices the youngsters showing signs of learning. Later on that day, Ishan is by the pond when he constructs a functional boat out of rubber bands and leaves. Ram is so taken with the construction that he takes it home and uses it as decor. Ishan's creative faculties begin to return, but he still has a ways to go before he learns how to study like the other children his age. Ram visits the school's headmaster one day and informs him of Ishan's issue. The principal advises that they enroll him in a special needs school, but Ram is certain that Ishan can succeed in regular classes. He proposes that the teachers recognize the child's issue and offer the appropriate assistance. Ram offers to tutor Ishan every day after school, but the principal says it's not possible. It is permitted by the principal out of concern for the child. The following day, Ram begins teaching Ishan how to distinguish between the alphabet's letters using a variety of inventive techniques. Sandboxes, Play-Doh, sensory techniques, and other things help them learn. To learn to compute, Ishan also uses audiobooks and stares. He finally learns the letters that the other teachers had been unable to teach him for years in just 2 months. Nandakishore shows up at the school one day to chat with Ram and brag about how they are doing more research on their son's ailment. He wants Ram to know that he is a proud parent and that he is not an absent one. Ram, on the other hand, attributes the child's loss of confidence to the father, something even Nandakishore cannot dispute. He observes Ishan attempting to read from the notice board as he exits. He sobs and can't bring himself to look at him since he feels bad about unintentionally hurting his child. Ram arranges a painting contest for the school's professors and pupils a few days later. In the amphitheater, everyone congregates and takes part. Ishan makes his first use of the painting supplies his brother gave him. Everyone begins to sketch as the tournament begins. Even the instructors have fun and give it their all. By the time it is through, Ishan has produced a stunning painting of himself relaxing by the pond. He discovers Ram has painted a portrait of him as he approaches the front to present the artwork. The sight renders him dumbfounded. Soon after, it is revealed that the winning painting will grace the cover of the new yearbook. The principal adds that it was challenging to choose because Ram's and Ishan's paintings stood out the most. Ishan is ultimately crowned the champion, with Ram taking home second place. Cheers emerge from the audience. Ishan feels honored for the first time in his life for his talent. He starts to cry and rushes to hug his teacher. Maya and Nandakishore arrive at the school for the final parent-teacher conference in the final scene. The school's yearbook's cover artwork by Ishan is shown by the principal as proof of his brilliance. The parents are shocked since they are not used to the sudden attention. Ram receives accolades from the principal for doing a terrific job of instructing the pupil in the manner in which he required it. Later, Ishan's teachers introduce themselves to his parents and show them the student's report card while praising his undeniable development. The pair sheds happy emotions as they watch their son play outside. Nandakishore expresses gratitude to Ram for helping Ishan and regrets his actions. Ishan then bids Ram goodnight and takes a trip back to his village.